Small cap GameFi gems, the words on everyone's lips right now. And in this video, I'm going to talk about 3 incredible small cap GameFi projects that I think could explode along with the GameFi narrative, which is going to be, in many people's eyes, the lead narrative in this bull market. And we need to hurry up, because the next impulsive move in Bitcoin could be moments away, and you know what that means. It drags the entire market with it, and the small caps could well explode with it, particularly within the GameFi narrative. So, do me a favor, hit that like button, and let's get into this video. Now, why on earth is the GameFi sector so hot right now? Well, it's because of this. Global games market currently is worth around $187 billion right now, which is a ludicrous amount of money. And all of these big companies such as Ubisoft and others have realized that they must start to move across to blockchain gaming. And that's because it's one area of crypto that's really going to have a hugely positive impact, driving the growth of the overall sector. You can see that the games market is worth $187 billion, but with global music streaming revenue being around $31 billion, literally a sixth of the size of the gaming market, and then the box office movies grossing $2 billion in revenue during 2023. And more importantly, this is Grand Theft Auto's global annual revenue over the last few years. And you can see $8.3 billion since GTA 5's release back in 2014. And you can see that it's pretty much making more money than box office revenue from all movies. And in my free Telegram, which is linked down below, I've been sharing some information on this recently. Back in 2021, you can see that Bitcoin basically was in a very, very similar structure to where it is now. And then from this area, which is where I think we are roughly right now, it literally exploded and did around 300%. Why is that so key to understand? Well, Bitcoin, massive market cap, pulls all the money into the market effectively. Once all that money flows in, people make money in Bitcoin, they then start to branch out into other key narratives, of which GameFi is quite clearly one of the most important there. But where on earth to look? Across the Web3 gaming landscape, there is literally thousands and thousands of different coins. And within GameFi itself, there's a bunch of different narratives. Whether it's esports, whether it's social, whether it's NFTs, whether it's strategy games, metaverse, you name it. And if you're not into gaming and whatever, you might be like, well, what the hell does that all mean? I myself, nowadays, not really that into gaming, but I know some of these narratives are going to be absolutely key going forward. Now, a good place we can look to understand a little bit more about the kind of gaming environment right now is across to the venture capital side of things with crypto fundraising. And you can see that there are a few key venture capital funds, and one of the biggest, Animoca Brands, previously backed Axie Infinity, the OpenSea Marketplace for NFTs, etc., and they are now starting to inject a load more cash into new projects. And these are some of the raises they've been doing more recently for a bunch of projects that will be launching in the earlier part of next year. But don't worry guys, if you're subscribed, I'll be updating you on some of those important launches that are happening so we can get in nice and early and secure ourselves a good bag. Now, for those of you who stuck with me so far and not just clicked forward to the games, good for you, because it's good to understand a bit of background behind why we might be involved in something. Why is that? Well, because if I mention a coin today and you go and buy it and you don't really know anything about it, and then that game comes down like 20 or 30%, which can of course happen in any altcoins that anyone talks about at any time, even in Bitcoin, then you're going to have more courage in your conviction, okay? You're going to understand why you invested in it, why you bought in it, why you're investing in this narrative. And that's why you will be one of the winners in this game, because we are in a competition with each other in order to be able to make the most returns. Now, the first one I'm going to talk about is Echelon Prime. Echelon Prime currently sits there with a market cap of $213 million, and we have already seen some interest starting to take place in the markets. And yes, that means if we were a month ago or so, we would have been getting in nice and early, but this is a pretty good proof that we're starting to move into the right part of the market right now, and it gives us a very good indicator, perhaps a lower risk opportunity, that this is going to be pushing forward over the next few weeks. Now, as always, we look at the circulating supply, and with many games, you'll see that the circulating supply is a little bit on the low side, but don't worry. In the last bull market, Gala had a similar problem and absolutely exploded, making hundreds of X returns for its early investors. Echelon Prime is a cross-chain NFT game ecosystem. So why this project over some of the other ones out there? There are a bunch of new games that people are excited about, and, you know, fair enough. We've all got kind of ideas. We've all been influenced by sort of different bits and pieces that we've read online or found out about different projects ourselves. Now, why specifically I like to go for some slightly broader platforms that are looking to integrate like crypto type blockchain features into existing games is because that's where I see the biggest return potential in the future. Also, if you invest in a game that turns out and flops, then you're going to be in a bad place. It's like investing in one single movie that doesn't really do very well, but you're probably better off investing in like Warner Brothers or Disney, because it only takes one big movie to absolutely kill it. Now, as you can see here, it enables games to leverage blockchain features, which is what I really, really like. It means that you can get like traditional games and then have blockchain integrations. That's going to be very powerful, because remember, a lot of traditional games and things like that don't have the experience to be able to integrate GameFi features. As well as that, a lot of blockchain companies don't have the experience needed to build top quality games. So bringing these two things together is something very powerful indeed. They've got one game on their platform already, which is like a card trading game called Parallel TCG, and they're starting to bring in new games and things all the time. Now, we can come across and look at the Gitbook, and you can see some of the different stuff with gameplay. You can see the token that's going to be used, which is called Prime, and we'll look at Prime in more detail in just a minute. And we can see NFT sales and everything like that are going through the roof on this platform already, even though it's not really a very much talked about project. Now, if we come across to Twitter, we can see currently less than 10,000 followers, which is very small, very early on, and that's quite interesting. Now, we can come down below and you can see twitterscore.io, and we can see an aggressive kind of increase in followers, which is good, not always essential, but it's interesting. You can see that they're also being followed. We can click on top followers and we can see a bunch of key people are following them. And this Twitter score basically showing us how much kind of interaction and popularity it has amongst its followers is actually pretty high considering the size of the project. So this one would probably be my number 2 pick out of the 3 I'm going to talk about today, because it's still early, it's only got one game, and actually the market cap around $250 million is not minuscule. Okay, so we're not going to necessarily see potential for 100x's or whatever going forward, but I do see it building steam right now, and maybe I want to get involved. I know a lot of people are new and not really sure about how to pick up these different tokens. I'm also going to run you through how to buy using decentralized exchanges as a little extra bonus. So hopefully there will be no more questions of where do I buy this and how do I buy this anymore. Now, the next one today is called Epic Prime, again on the Prime theme of things. Now, Epic again builds across multiple different platforms, and I'll show you the statistics for interacting with them already, which is very exciting indeed. Epic offers an NFT platform working with AAA game companies and giant IP brands to create in-game NFT goods and marketplaces. Yet again, this is a company integrating GameFi features into existing AAA games. And if you come up above, you can see they've got 300 plus game companies that they're working with already, and more than 50% of the top games companies in the world, as well as over 1,000 brands that they're working with, and already a user base for all the different games and things they're interacting with of over 1 billion people. And this is exciting, although maybe I think this will potentially change as we move further into this bull market. Epic is the first and only company to do NFT deals with top AAA gaming companies, doing stuff with digital merchandise and NFT collectibles. Now, Epic is a project that's been backed by Animoca Brands, which I talked about earlier, who have billions of dollars investment history in the GameFi sector and have been behind the likes of Axie Infinity and other huge names out there. Now, we can see the token launched back in 2021, pretty much just in time to catch the last bull market, and that's typical of high quality crypto projects that have good funding and everything, because they launch at the smart time before the bull market kind of runs, about now really. They're working on creating an epic gaming fantasy metaverse called Ember Sword, and that's again backed by Animoca Brands. Now, bearing in mind the reach and influence it seems that Epic Prime has, with all the relationships and things they've been building, their market cap sits here at $23.7 million, which is very cheap, very low down. If we see what's been happening over the last month or so, you can see we've had this sort of build in price where there's been a big increase, but we started to dip a little bit, have a cool off period, ready for what is likely to be the next leg up. Now, I want to tell you something very important, and speak close so you listen to what I'm saying. If you're not paying attention, start paying attention. If you're just investing in crypto projects right now because other people have talked about them on YouTube or Twitter, fine, that's okay. But be understanding, any project, just because the market's been moving up right now, they can always come down. Once you buy, you have no longer control over whether it goes up or whether it goes down. And if it goes down and you go back and shout at the people who told you about a project or whatever, then that's actually just your problem, because you're involved in a grown-ups game. It's up to you to act like a grown-up. You earn that money, and you have the responsibility whether you want to invest it or not. Not just because of something you've heard, but if you're still here and you're a bit of a degen and you like a good quality potential outsider bet, then these GameFi projects, for me, look very interesting. Now, because of the size of the market cap and potential going forward, there is a real opportunity in here to be able to see potential gains of around 50x. But I don't really want to say that because I know people get overexcited about massive potential gains, and that's just used to sell videos all the time. I'm actually very interested in this one. Okay, so this is important for all coins. If you're like, oh, well, how do I buy it? Where do I go? You know, this is all very confusing. I get it, guys. When you're new in crypto, it's a lot of stuff going on. So hopefully I'm going to make this easy for you. If, for example, I wanted to buy this, buy it if you want. If you don't want to buy it, that's fine. I'm not pushing anything, okay? What we can see, first of all, Epic Prime. We can come down below this price chart, just scroll down, and you'll see Prime Markets. This means these are places you can buy it from if you so wish. Okay, now KuCoin is a centralized exchange, and centralized exchanges are much more straightforward and easy to use because all influencers and stuff push these all the time because it's where they get their affiliate commissions from. I do this as well because there's some good exchanges out there that are worth getting your coins and stuff from, very easy to use. However, many of the smaller cap coins, not necessarily this one, are available on Uniswap or PancakeSwap. So all we would do is click on Uniswap. You can see this. So first of all, I come across to CoinGecko, I click on Epic Prime, and then I can see this contract address, I copy that, I'll come across then to Uniswap. Now there's a reason for that, because if I want to find it, I can just paste that address in here and click Epic Prime and click continue, and you can see all you need, because it's on the Ethereum chain, remember. We know it's on the Ethereum chain because, hold on, because there it says Ethereum. Now I would need probably some Ethereum or something on the Ethereum chain to trade with it. I can't just trade from like Optimism or like BNB or something. It's on Ethereum. I need Ethereum to buy it if I want to buy it. Now then you can see you can pay X amount of Ethereum and then you've got Epic down below. If you select like 0.1 or whatever it is, you can see it was going to buy you $200 worth of this, and you can see it's going to ask you to confirm the swap, and then it'll ask you to sign something on MetaMask in order to buy it. All very easy. So now you're like, well, how do I get it to appear in my MetaMask? I can't find it. I've lost my money. You haven't. Okay, relax. We're all good. Just go to here. This is CoinGecko, sorry. Epic Prime. Make sure you get the EPIK or whatever, whichever code it is, like Gala, GALA, or Bitcoin BTC. Copy the contract information, come back to MetaMask, and then you're going to go down to the bottom and you're going to click on import tokens, custom token. You're going to paste that contract address in, and you can see I've already added it. So obviously it worked, but otherwise it will come in here and it will say something like Epic, and then you just know that you've imported the right one, and it will show up in your wallet under your Ethereum address. Now this is not a sponsorship, okay? I don't have any association with the platform right now. I do occasionally take sponsorships, and I'll tell you when I do. But, you know, if you want this, do it. If you don't, I don't care. But this is just how to use Uniswap. I'm not encouraging you to buy this. Now, looking into Epic Prime over on Twitter Score, we can see not quite as well performing as the last one, but a much bigger following. A few kind of big names following various venture capital, followed by the likes of Justin Sun, very big names in the space. Having a little bit of a drop off in statistic followers here, but it does look that maybe we might see a little bit more of a push starting to grow out of here. Could be an interesting one to watch. And last but not least, one of my favorite ones today is this, and this is Photo Finish Live, which is basically like a realistic horse racing simulator game, all built on the blockchain, and basically have like various bets and things all the time. They're actually partnered up, which I found out earlier, with the Kentucky Derby, which is obviously a big horse race in the US. Very exciting, and it's interesting to have these kind of real world things. Also, 22.4k following. Few kind of other people I'm starting to notice give them a follow as well. Again, coming across to Twitter Score, you can see they're kind of following and things are building. They're actually followed by Solana, and their sort of score is increasing quite aggressively compared with some others. Some very other interesting followers in this space, such as Matt Graham and others, to pay attention to. This is one that could potentially get a shout out from some big follower who's got 400,000 or 500,000 followers. And this is basically it. Now it's started to load. You can see like very realistic, like nice looking kind of like interface and stuff like that. Basically it looks like a normal betting website. And they already have various horse races, various revenue and stuff already flowing into the space. This is very key. Small projects with good revenue coming through them already. This is really cool. Basically, you can buy NFT. You can buy your horse, which is like an NFT, and you can race your horses. Or you can bet using crown tokens in order to kind of place your bets and things like that. So coming across to CoinMarketCap, we can see this again has a market cap around $48 million, which by GameFi standards is pretty small, alright. Circulating supply, like self-reporting, obviously people get a bit hung up on this, but you can see a fairly legit platform built on Solana, followed by Solana and all that good stuff. As we look at the overall price trajectory over the last month, we had a kind of a push, a pump, a drop down, and now we're starting to push again. So it is up 68% in the last month, which is not bad. And I do think that if Bitcoin and the crypto market pushes again, coins like this that are already starting to get a little bit of attention are exciting. Okay, again, this one comes on a different chain. It's Solana-based chain. So I can see that because it says Solana down here, which means it doesn't come on Uniswap, which is an Ethereum-based DEX or decentralized exchange. And you can see, yeah, it's on BingX, which is a centralized exchange. But how about another one, Orca? Click on Orca, and it brings me across this page. Access to this site is unavailable in the UK. So what am I going to do about that? Well, I come across to NordVPN, link down below in the description, where I can get 4 months free. And then after that, it's going to cost me a whopping £2.30 a month, okay? Which is around $2.60, I believe, like a cup of coffee, okay? And this is what's cool about it. I click on this, I then select that I'm in, let's say, Slovenia, and then I come back to Orca, I hit refresh, and now we're in the money, we're working. Now, this won't work with MetaMask, because MetaMask is Ethereum chain, as you know. You need another wallet, which is called Phantom Wallet, and then this is basically exactly the same. Works like MetaMask, it's very, very simple to use, and you basically send Solana there. You send Solana, which is great, because it's super cheap and really fast, and then once you've got your Solana in, you can then swap on this, like swap Crown for Sol, or whatever else. Now, coming back to this platform, they have a very experienced team. They've been involved in esports for a long time, and I think esports is a very interesting and important area to be paying attention to in the GameFi area, especially stuff that kind of mixes across GambleFi and GameFi. That's like the golden cross of kind of, you know, where I think the markets are going and just like overall like degenerate crypto trading. GambleFi, GameFi, these are going to be very good narratives. But again, like anything, Web3 esports is kind of unproven. So it's going to rely on a lot of people entering into the space to see whether or not it's going to be a success in the future. Ultimately, these kind of riskier bets, small cap bets, you're betting on massive potential opportunity. But it is just that, potential. With a market cap like this, bearing in mind the potential that comes across for kind of people who bet on horse racing and stuff, there's no reason, in my opinion, why this couldn't see maybe like a 30 to 40x if all goes to plan. Now, lots of the stuff I talk about, such as GameFi and various different other things, I make various different posts about on Twitter all the time. And we're covering all of these in some really in-depth and interesting threads, such as this one we did on Ocean Protocol. And you can go through and find all the stuff you need to know about Ocean Protocol in a very easy to follow kind of step-by-step guide. I follow other big influencers in the space, such as Alex Becker, who was talking about Sidus on the 25th of November. And since then, it's absolutely rocketed up in price because he then goes and announces himself as a follower there. So if you don't have all the time in the world to go and follow lots of different people, I understand that. That's what I'm here for. And that's where I'm going to try and bring you as much value as possible. So there we are, 3 interesting GameFi projects that I think you should go and take a look at. Obviously, nothing I said is financial advice. Go and do your own research, subscribe, hit the like button, and I will see you tomorrow with another video. Bye-bye.